Hello and welcome to the Dressage Anywhere podcast. Hello, it's a solo session with me today. It's Ruth at Dressage Anywhere here. Now, I'm sure that many of you who listen to this know exactly who we are because you ride with us or you follow us on social media. But there might be just a few who have stumbled across us because of some of the great guests we've interviewed so far. So this is for you guys. And for anybody who already knows us, stick around because there might be some useful points which serve as a bit of a reminder. Now, there are other providers out there, but I'm just going to talk about how our system works and how we work at Dressage Anywhere because obviously I know that best. And what we're going to talk about today is what is online dressage? How do you get involved? Who is it for? What are the benefits? And we're also going to bust a few myths out there. So what is online dressage? Now, anyone who has competed live knows that you need to be organised. There's the plaiting and polishing and grooming, not to mention having to clean your tack. I'm guilty of not doing that very often. And then actually transporting your horse to an event. And you might spend several hours there for a 5-minute performance in the arena. And that's great. But what if you don't have your own horse or your own transport? Or maybe you just want some quick feedback, ahead of a live competition, something like an area festival or regional championship, something that's really important to you. Or perhaps you've never competed in a dressage competition at all and you want to know what it's all about. What opportunities do you have to compete and train? And that's exactly where online dressage comes in. Now, it is a really simple concept. You ride your test, you have somebody film it for you, and then you upload the video for judging. It really is as easy as that. Now, you'll need to enter online. And we have a schedule on our website where you can enter each class. But if you're not sure what level you should ride, you need to assess where you are in your schooling and training. Now, if you're very new to dressage, have a look at BD introductory, which is walk and trot, and preliminary levels, which is walk, trot and canter. And of course, if you're more established as a dressage rider, then you'll know what level you should be entering. But if you're unsure, we always include a summary of the movements in each test so you can assess which online dressage test you can enter. And once you've entered a competition, you'll need to grab a copy of the test sheet to learn and practice it. And you can follow the link to get dressage tests online, which I think is on our help page, as to where are the best places to find dressage tests. Now, competing in dressage online is for just about anybody, whether you're completely new to dressage or you're an experienced competitor. There are classes and levels for everyone and every type of horse. Some riders with young horses find it a really useful tool to get feedback on how they're doing, and other more established partnerships just enjoy having another mechanism for competing without leaving their yard. Online dressage is perfect for riders who don't have their own transport or even their own horse. At Dressage Anywhere, we have many riders competing on riding school horses or lone horses or a friend's horse at the yard. And it can be a really fun way of taking part with the opportunity to win prizes and rosettes. There are some rules that you need to follow, just like in a live competition. And there's a summary of all of these on our rules page. But the top few that I can think of off the top of my head are: you don't need to plait your horse. Not really a rule, more of a kind of what you need to do in prep for an online dressage test. But it's really important to note you don't need to plait your horse. Just make sure you're both neat and tidy. It's probably best to pay attention to those stable stains or mud. But you don't need to spend hours with whitening shampoo on a grey horse. Of course, if you want to plait your horse, go ahead, go for it. Smart turnout is lovely. And I love seeing riders who are turned out really smart, but you don't have to. Make sure you've got the right tack. So a saddle, obviously it helps, and a bridle with a bit. No bitless bridles or martingales or any other aids that aren't permitted in a dressage test. Now, if you do want to wear competition clothing, and you might want to because it's, maybe it's the first time that you've done this, or maybe you're having a competition on your yard, that's great. Go for it. But if you do wear competition clothing, we need to see boots or bandages on your horse. Now, this is a rule that we developed for online dressage 11 and a half years ago, so that judges would know that anything they're judging online hasn't been filmed at a live competition and therefore already judged. If you have a horse or pony that has never worn boots or bandages before, it's probably best not to wear competition clothing, and make sure you wear gloves. It's a 2-mark deduction if you forget to put your gloves on. For martingales or other tack that isn't permitted in a dressage test, we won't be able to judge your test as part of the competition class, but we will get in touch with you to let you know. And if there's enough time in the competition, we'll give you a chance to redo your test. Now, you don't have to ride in a proper arena. A grass arena is absolutely fine. And I've ridden some training tests myself in a grass arena. But you do need to make sure the space you ride in is the right size for the test. So that's either 20 metres by 40 metres or 20 metres by 60 metres. And again, there's some guidance around this on our help page. Filming is fairly straightforward. You don't need a flash broadcast quality camera. A regular up-to-date smartphone or tablet will do just the job. Now, have the person filming stood at sea. And that is where the judge would normally sit, and that is the viewpoint from which we use to judge all tests. Ask them to keep you in the centre of the frame at all times. So that's in the middle of the device that they're looking at. Keep you in the middle. They might need to zoom in slightly when you're at the A end of the arena, but not too close. The judge still needs to be able to see clearly the movements and shapes that you're riding. Once you've got your test filmed, you need to upload it for judging. Now, the simplest way is to upload it direct to our website, and you'll find your entry under the My Dressage Anywhere menu, My Entries. And that's where you should upload your video. But for some people with slow broadband, it's best to upload to YouTube, and you can copy and paste the link onto your entries page when you've done that. But you can also send it through a file transfer service, something like Dropbox or OneDrive or Google Drive or MailDrop on the iPhone or iPad. And we've got lots of help information about that on our help pages. So don't worry if you can't yet find the right thing for you. Now, your test will be judged online. We aim to judge as many as we can within 48 hours, so you don't need to wait until the end of the competition. Of course, this is dependent on our judges' availability and how many entries are ready to judge at that time. And what we do find is if it's very close to our close of entries date, we do receive most videos around that time, and we do end up with quite a lot to judge. So we do take a little bit longer, but we'll always finalise results by the last day of the month. Now, every rider will receive a score sheet with a summary of their performance. So that's where all the marks and comments from the judge are. And at Dressage Anywhere, we take that one step further. So as soon as the judge submits the score sheet, our competitors receive an email with a link to view and download their score sheet. So there's no waiting until the end of the competition. And if you think you can improve on your performance, you can ride the test again and upload a new entry for judging. When competitions close, results are finalised on our online scoreboard, and rosettes and prizes are posted to all placed riders. Now, at Dressage Anywhere, we award prizes and rosettes in accordance with BD rules. So rosettes go to 1 in 4 riders, and prizes are awarded to a scale. let's get on to a bit of myth busting. So one thing I hear almost every week is, I'm a technophobe. Is it easy for me to do? And the answer is yes. Our system will guide you through the process, and very little technical knowledge is actually needed. If you can operate a smartphone, view photos and videos on it, and go to a website, you're there. You can do it. But for anybody who has any problems at all, I'm always here at the end of email and the phone, and I can help. Another myth I hear is, isn't it easier? Almost cheating? And the answer is yes, it can be easier, but no, it isn't cheating. So to expand on that further, for most people, riding a test at home is easier. You're in familiar surroundings and you're relaxed, so that probably means your horse is relaxed as well. So you may well have a better test riding experience because of that. But it all depends on why you're entering an online competition. Many of our riders also compete at live events, and they use their online tests as a training tool. So it's a good way to gauge how they're doing and what they need to work on next. Myth number 3 is everyone will be able to see my video. Now, we've been doing this a long time, and one thing we set out to build from the very beginning was to enable all riders to manage their own privacy. So you can choose whether your video can be viewed on the scoreboard or not. And in our training classes, none of the results can be viewed by anybody, apart from the judge and admin here at Dressage Anywhere. Now, the last myth I want to touch on is judges mark online tests up. And no, they don't. Well, not for Dressage Anywhere anyway. We've always worked with many of the highest listed judges in the UK, and for many years that was just BD List 1 and 2 judges. We now work with a whole range of fabulous judges who also judge at live events throughout the month. And the one thing I want you to take away from this is judges do not mark higher because they're judging online. If you get higher marks online, it may be because your performance is more relaxed. Our judges look for and judge in exactly the same way as they would a live event. And actually, the pause button means that they can take even more time over judging your test rather than the quick 4 to 5 minutes they have at a live event. I hope that's been a really useful introduction or a reminder of what online dressage is all about. I'd love to know what you think, so do get in touch with us via email or any of our social media profiles. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to the Dressage Anywhere podcast. Dressage Anywhere is an online platform where you can upload your dressage test videos and enter competitions with other riders from around the world. Find out more about us at dressageanywhere.com, Dressage Anywhere on Facebook, Dressage_Anywhere on Instagram, and Dressage_comp on Twitter.